Welcome. I am Crime Queen, and if you are joining us for the first time, it's the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. This is where we take time to delve into the scriptures, and we have been in Genesis of chapter 1 for a while now. But of course, we must appreciate that the foundation of anything is not just so simple, that there is a lot or everything have to be considered in the foundation of anything that is to be built upon it. And so it is important that we really take time to understand the essence or the material or the spirit or elements or whatever it is that is in what we are doing. And here we are learning about how the scriptures have impacted on our lives. Here we are learning about how to decipher what serves us and what no longer serves us. Now, I'm speaking from my own experience that I got to a stage where I felt, well, whatever I'd learned was not was no longer making sense to me. The answers to the questions that I was seeking was not being presented to me, so I had to really delve. And I was happy to come to the scripture verse that says, you must drink from your own cistern. Of course, there's the other part where you must drink if you can't drink. By yourself, you'll find you're spoon fed. It means you are not well enough or not strong enough to do for yourself as long as you have someone else doing for you. Now, to me, that was very, very profound in that realization. We have been spoon fed with knowledge because we have not developed the minds to comprehend the essence of what a story really conveys. So, in that sense, of course, to entertain us, because that's what we like, it has been given to us through a story or through stories that makes us smile, that makes us afraid, because it ignites every emotion in us. And that's what good stories are about. And we see the fluctuation goes with our emotions in the Bible. That's exactly what it does. So, however, there we are now. We are delving for ourselves. We have grown up. Our eyes are open. We want to see. And even if we are not quite able to understand everything else, we have the mouth to speak, because the first thing that it was said, I think it's in Matthew, one of the Gospels, um, it is said, "Ask and ye shall find. Seek and ye shall find. Ask or ask and ye shall find." Okay, well, there's ask, seek, and knock, basically. And it means that all of these would be rendered unto us. Ask and it shall be given. Of course. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be open unto you. Now, I am just thinking the word open as well is in direct correlation with Mother Eve that I have been going on about. Mother Eve, that you are 23, well, 5, the Christ spirit that is within us. In fact, I have a list of, oh, I haven't got it with me now, but I have a list of other names we could say Mother Eve go by: the Kundalini, the Christ spirit, the pineal gland. Um, it could be the lamb, I think, as well. The lamb is 10, but of course, Mother Eve is 10. It's just the way it has all been constructed. Okay, so all those names have come forth really to present ourselves for us to understand who we are on our makeup. So there we go. With some now, I have this revelation. It's as if now I never know which way um the presentations are going to go, because while I am doing a presentation, I am getting information, and it is so um, audible, it is so visible, and so I have an honor to respect whatever it is that I have to honor what I have been presented. When I say what I have been presented, I do acknowledge that I am now a channel in this in this sphere, in the earth, and we all channels in one way or another. Yeah. Um. But okay, so basically, I have been talking a lot about Mother Eve, and we have seen the light in Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. So, of course, we see the reflection of 1 plus 3, how it becomes 4. And then it's as if that's where the foundation of creation really began. Although I have to say it would be from when the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep. That would be it. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep. Now, moved, if I am correct, it equals, I think it equals 5. Let's just see. We can take this off for now. Let's just do every. Okay. So moved, moved, and that's 4 and 5. We see that's 9 already, and 4 and 5. Now, there isn't this is amazing. I I may not have paid attention to this before, but there's a thing that I get with when I see a sort of sequence like this. To me, this is so profound. This is really conveying a very strong message. Already I can say, well, this is 3 fours 12 plus 10, the two fives, that would be 22. Hence, it is said that 22 is really the most powerful master number. Of course, we know it goes into 33 degrees and God knows how much more. But the power, perhaps, whether it is in the material sense, because it is a number of action, it is also a number of foundation. It is that double effect of foundation. It is rock, because rock is two. So when we have 22, it's that double effect. Now, 22, that's the other thing that I am also getting in that word moved, which was the first act, and God moved. God moved. That tells me that there are so many aspects or so many facets to this movement. It's like everything came into that movement. Hence, it's important for us to act to manifest anything. Okay, so 22, as I say, would be 2 plus 2 would be 4, and we see how that is reflected too in Genesis of chapter 1 verse 3. And when we look at the word light, so it also ties in very much with that which I first said was the first miracle. Said miracle, but God moved. But then when God said, then we see 4. Now, what I am getting, because I said that there were 9 gods in Genesis of chapter 1 and 5 gods in Genesis of chapter 2. And I also feel that those two sets of gods were mirroring each other. They are mirrored aspect of each other. Now I'm also feeling, which I need to investigate, but it feels very strong, that the gods in Genesis of chapter 2 also mirrored some exact things in Genesis of chapter 1, like God made, for instance. So there would be a God made in Genesis of chapter 1, and there was the copycat, if you like, or the copy image. We have said cat. God knows why that came cat. Okay. See, that's 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that cat comes into six as well, which is like 33. I'm just saying. And it's no wonder the cat is very symbolic as well in the, I think, well, three mystery. I need to be mindful of saying things that I know. Okay, but it has been associated in some other cults or hidden knowledge. Okay, that sounds better. Okay, so we have two fives here. Now, that is the thing. Something has, I love to do that. I have to continue. I know it's not always comfortable to have my board hair like this, but there is something that happens when I have my board hair like this. There is a one, it's magical. So in the word moved, basically, I am believing that it really is meant to be with that. Oh, I must rectify this. It's not I must rectify this. It is not a five hair, it's meant to be a six hair. So do excuse me, and maybe that's exactly what I meant, although when I said that it's not what I actually thought, but then that's how my intuition seemed to work so well as well. So there was a mistake. So moved, and I really thought I saw Eved, like, of course, and perhaps yes, not perhaps, because this o'hair would be representing the mouth, which I have been saying Eve is, and of course we have the VE at the end. Okay, so let's count this. So this is 10 and 18, 19, 20, 23. So 23, so Eve is still very much present here. 2 plus 3, as I've got in the back, is 5. So that was the first thing God did. Now, it's as if I feel compelled to keep making references to Emmet Fox when he says nothing comes into your consciousness unless it finds something like itself on which to attach itself to. Now, I think that was something, it sounds like a very divine and very scriptural quotation, although it's not in the Bible, but it sounds like it ought to have been in there. Well, I hope Emmett Fox really is there to hear this. But that's how I feel about it. Because then it beckons the question, who moved? That God that moved. Who exactly was that God that moved? And what aspect of that God that actually moved, that matched, that was 5? What aspect of that God that was 5 that actually moved upon the face of the deep? That's the question. It beckons the question. As we see, everything is relational, but our makeup, our structure, our construct itself tells us that, of course, the finger is attached to the palms of the hand. And the finger, although it it is it consists or constitute the hand, but the finger is not all of the hand. So here we have, for instance, 5, the waters, and God, which is number 8. How did God, this God, here we are talking about, moved upon the face of the deep? Okay, so we know that we said the Spirit of God, the Spirit of God. So Spirit is 10. So Spirit is 10. So that Spirit is what moved, the Spirit of God. moved. So there we need to really make that link to understand that God who moved, the God of movement. This is what I said. There are several gods, but the God of movement. All right. So, um, I feel that perhaps we need to revisit this as well, but I need to, I think it's important that we pay attention to these fours. The two fours at the end, of course, that is already coinciding with God, the name God, because God, when we do God, it equals 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. Now here we would have 15 in the middle. Now that actually coincides with the first thing that I was going to look at when I said, oh, I've seen something on this side, but it actually is also something very significant. So there we are. If it's so, this is the thing. The word moved offers us a lot to ponder on. So here we have, instead of Eve, EVE, we have OVE. Now, OVE, which reminds me like with ovaries, or something like that. Or over, words like that. And we have this O here, which is indicative of the mouth, the O, the, the, the female right here. So we have the four. Of course, we can see the makeup with the strokes. It's like the L, it's like a four here. We could say the L is a 3, and we have that stroke here. It's like it's have cornered the 3 vibration on either side. It's locked down the 3, the W or the 3 or the E or the M. It's locked those out on the end. And so we have 8. So basically, there is the two ends, because end and beginning we see are more or less the same. Although we have seen that the word beginning is 9 and the word end is 5. But here we see the lap, how these two really coincide. So concise. And of course, if we were to take this off, then we are left with the 6 and the 5, or it would be 15. So there, in essence, it's as if we have come to this 5 here, but there is another or a hidden message of 15 right here. Now 1 plus 5 is 6. And there we see 6 and 5, 6 and 5. This is where 6 and 5 belongs. 6 is here and 5 is here. So there we see that hidden message. It's no wonder it comes under the new, because it's you only notice it when it has been transpired. So it is new. So the word moved, because when you move something, it becomes it reflects a new position. It reflects a new dimension. It occupies a new state, a new area, a new place. And it can change everything. You move one thing and it changes the dynamics of everything else. So there we see the word moved, which was God, the Spirit of God moved. The Spirit, which is 10, and it moved. So we have that 6 and 5, which is 11. And there we also know that when you are in Christ, whether Jesus Christ, the number 11 also shows up here too. 6 plus 5, 11. And we see that Of course, Christ is also five. I have done different presentations showing that seven and two and five is seven, and how seven also plays out in the mouth. Okay, now I am not. Um, I'm trying to figure out where I made this connection as well, which I'm going to have to go over some of my presentations to do that. So, but of course, it is there. All right. Um, yeah, there was also something else. We have, okay, 3 5s of 15 here. 1 plus 5 is 6. This is how we got this 6. And okay, so we'll leave this at on this point here and return to this. So the first word we have really looked at here, which is pinnacle, God moved, and the Spirit of God moved. So we look at that. The intention was to look at light, but now we have said again, I was intuitively guided to really look at the word moved, and I have been moved to see to discover this. Okay, thank you. So that meant there was a direct correlation with Mother Eve and moved. There was a direct match. The word moved is five, and Mother Eve was five, and this is how they came together. This is how the sextile had taken place. They came together as one and formed 10. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found it fun. Do like and subscribe, share, and of course, leave your comments. And thank you for watching. Okay. So, because without you, this is really not happening. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Oh, remember that we are planting new seeds. So be ignited and stay blissful.